Hi everyone, I am Rebecca from ChemKnits and I'm here today to do a brief recap on the yarn that we overdyed with some resist dyeing and glazing techniques in our recent live stream. The finished yarn is right here, and this yarn will make an appearance in a standalone Dye Pot Weekly episode later this summer. But I wanted to give you a sense of what the finished yarn looked like. The glazing technique really toned down the brightness of these colors, but there is a little bit of black, but we have some maroon, some navy blue, some deep pinks. This is really like a low layer of the gray over this yarn. Let me open this up so you can see, but because of the ties, and it's a little blown out right now, there we go. Because of the way that we tied ties around this pre-dyed skein of yarn, which was KnitPicks Chroma in the color Lupine, we were able to preserve some of these original shades in patches of color. I tied knots in small sections of the yarn, sort of varying where the ties went, so that way these patches of color would be non-repeating and therefore won't pool when this knits up. They might sometimes align, but it'll give it a little more randomness to the finished yarn. I think that this was a really fun dyeing project. I loved the original KnitPicks color, but I think that over dyeing this yarn really gave us like another way to play with color. Since there was some dye left over in the dye pot, I decided to add a skein of bare hawthorn yarn to the water. And honestly, right now I can't even remember if I pre-soaked it. I think that it might have been dry, but I will have to go and double check. This yarn is beautiful, and the remaining color is almost a grayish brown versus a true gray. There's a warmth to it, and you can see the original bare yarn shine through. There isn't white left on this, and there's variation in the level of saturation of the yarn, but let me open this up. If we take a look at one of the original strands and sort of open it up, you can, there we go. If we take a look at one of the strands and open it up, you can see how shallow the color penetration is. And when we refer to a glazing technique, we're referring to a shallow dye job. This means that we're dyeing the yarn, but with high acid and heat. The dyes will strike to the yarn really quickly, giving us beautiful tones. We can get deep and medium tones. It's just, it adds another layer of depth to the yarn itself. I had a blast filming this live stream, and I hope to play around more with resist techniques in the future. I am really glad that I started with a commercial yarn. There's many ways that you could vary this. You could add more ties, fewer ties. I left the yarn in the glazing pot for a count of 10. You could do a count of 5 to make something a little more subtle. KnitPicks Chroma, the base of this yarn, is a gradient yarn. So the final project will still have a gradient, but we've added some more variation with these darker and brighter patches of color from the glazing. So if you enjoyed that live stream, or if you missed it, you can check out the replay. It's on the ChemKnits Tutorials YouTube channel. And if you want to make sure you don't miss future live streams, subscribe to the ChemKnits Tutorials channel and turn on your notifications, so that way you will know exactly when I do a new stream. Thank you so much for watching.